What is up, everybody? Timboverse here today. So we're gonna talk about Atomic Heart, and apparently this game has some people butthurt, and it's a lot of reasons. But now we're gonna talk about the review score because this is the big focus on what is causing people to get butthurt, and yeah, just overall this review score. So for Atomic Heart, this game released like probably less than 10 hours ago. I played like probably like an hour of it. Got an hour of it's okay so far from what I'm playing so far. Feels like Bioshock, but like a less clunkier version of Bioshock. But like I said, I'm an hour into the game. Haven't did too much into the game yet, so I can't really give my opinion. Because you see some people giving the game a 9, an 8, 7.5. It even gets as low as the people giving it a 2.5 out of 10. I even seen one big YouTuber rage quit and said the game was just completely a mess, unplayable. I haven't got to that point where I can say, hey, this game's completely unplayable. Like, I can't say it's even a 9 either. So, I'm just enjoying what I played of it so far. That 1 hour of I played so far was okay. So, but what I want to focus on is that Sony fanboys are treating this game like it's an Xbox exclusive game or something. Just because it's released on Game Pass, you can literally have an option, or whether you just want to play it on Game Pass, or you can pay full price. I guess because you have an option now, it makes it an Xbox exclusive game now in these Sony fanboys' eyes for whatever reason. So I mean, you can rent it on GameFly too. Does that make it a GameFly exclusive as well? Like I don't get it. Like why are you treating it like this? But nonetheless, the Sony fanboy was butthurt because the newest PSVR 2 game, the headliner for PSVR 2 is the Horizon Call of the Mountain game, which has a Metacritic of 79. And you know, when Sony guys get a exclusive game, it has to be 90 or above. If a game is a 90 or above and it's exclusive, it's trash. It has to be a 90 or above, or it's just trash. So I guess he's butthurt because people are complaining about Call of the Mountain Metacritic score when he says, "LOL, is this a killer app PSVR?" While he stays at Atomic Heart at a 74, don't trust the reviews, play it for yourself. So he says clown. So I don't know why he's so bothered by this. I don't understand why he just don't get it. People don't want to spend that much money for a PSVR. Like, if this is the flagship title for VR, I would think the game would have to be extremely like groundbreaking and amazing to get somebody to spend 600, 500, the cost of a PS5 for this add-on and to buy the game itself. So that's a lot of money you got to spend, over $600 to spend just to play this game and just to experience VR. So that's a big difference than spending your Game Pass fee or just buying a game Atomic Heart outright for like $70. That's a big difference right there. So it's not really the same, but it's like if you want to take it that way, okay. It's like it's people reviews or opinions. It's not too much for yourself. Like ultimately, you should play games for yourselves if you think if you should experience whatever a movie or a game. Even if the reviews say otherwise. Like for example, Ant-Man has a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audience score is 84%, so the vast majority of the audience likes it. So if you just go by critic reviews, you probably wouldn't like Ant-Man. But myself, I would win by critic reviews. I probably wouldn't watch Ant-Man, but I watched it for myself and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that movie. So you know that opinion of that movie is very mixed right now. So I was the same with these other things, anything in general. So I don't know why they're so butthurt and why are they treating us like it's an Xbox exclusive is the most mind-boggling thing right here. But you know, let's see what people have to say about this comment. That is the beauty of Game Pass. Ain't like we have to spend $70 to see what it's like. Yeah, it ain't too much of a risk if you got Game Pass. It's like if the game is good, then that's great. We got a great game and we get to play on Game Pass. If the game is awful, then it's like we don't really lose anything because it's on Game Pass. And that really bothers these guys. They love to flex and say, hey, we get to pay full price for our games, which it's like, why? It's like, especially if it's a game that you're not really sure about. If it's a game you're not sure about, why would you brag about paying full price for something that you might just hate and just have to try to get rid of that game? So I don't understand it. People are saying that first thing due to fanboys like you trashing any game below 80. Yeah, fanboys do love to trash any game that scores lower than 80 on Metacritic. So that's one reason why they bring it up too. You also said the same thing about Forspoken. It didn't break 70. Can't keep the same energy, can you? Yeah, you can't keep the same energy towards Sony games as he does every other game that's not a Sony, that doesn't have the Sony brand on it. Let me know when I need to spend $500. Let me know when I need to buy a $500 wired headset to play Atomic Heart. Yeah, you don't need to spend. That's the one thing too. You don't need to spend that much to play Atomic Heart. Atomic Heart, like you need to do with that the Call of the Mountain VR game. I hate when y'all do this crap. Just play the crap for yourself. Atomic Heart is a multi-plat game. Yeah, this game is on all platforms, but he's super butthurt, and they view it as an Xbox game when it's on a Game Pass day one. It's like, okay. Never trust reviews and always play games for yourself. Ultimately, like especially, you probably should experience for yourself. Especially if you got a low cost investment like with Game Pass, and it's like you just play for yourself to determine it. So I agree with that opinion. You're not happy with choices if all you do is criticize others. Do stop all the hate. I mean, I just dropped $550 for a PS5, $550 for a PSVR 2, and then I also dropped $60 for Rise of Call of the Mountain, and the game is mediocre AF. Jeez. That's a lot of money for a mediocre experience. I paid $50 for Game Pass, ultimately to try out Atomic Heart. Yeah, that's a big price difference right there. Like it's definitely not the same. Are you smoking something? Atomic Heart is not an exclusive. You need knowledge, you clown. Indie devs versus AAA devs, like, come on, stop being a simp. Are you slow? Horizon Forbidden West VR needs to spend $700 to see if the review is fair. Yeah, just to see if the review is valid, you need to spend at least the minimum of $700 to do so. Like a minimum of 650 bucks just to do so. So, yeah, I don't agree with that. It's not the same thing. This guy's definitely reaching though. Yeah, at least you moved on from Forspoken and have something decent to play. Horizon is a dead franchise after how horrible Forbidden West was. Terrible, terrible game. And I don't know, bro. This is for Forbidden West. Like I actually bought Forbidden West, was on sale for $40. A few months ago, I just cannot get into that game whatsoever. Like I don't know. I played like an hour of that game, and I just couldn't get into it further than that. So I gotta get that game's still in the backlog. I at least go on money's worth because I did spend $40 on that game. So. Different ones supposed to be a system seller. Reason why VR would be a flop for Sony. Oh, I like this game. Let's try the Pony version. Pony says High on Life Meta 67 Game Pass fodder. Oh, yeah, it was called High on Life Game Pass fodder when I was just dumb. That game was actually really great. Also, Pony Forspoken Meta 64. Reviewers are biased. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one guy who said the game was unplayable. Like I said, I haven't gotten too far to say if the game is that. I gotta say, there's the combat, like the melee is kind of clunky from what I played so far. Like I wish you can lock onto the enemies. Maybe there is a way at the future and further in the game, but for right now, the melee seems a little bit clunky. Sadly, you are all clowns caught in a cycle. Be angry when competitor B does. Okay, I'm not okay. I'm trying to give what I'm trying to say right there. So another person comments on this guy's tweet. Right now, if I want to play Horizon Call of the Mountain, I have to spend $600 some bucks. It's the flagship PSVR 2 game, has to justify the expense and be a VR headset seller. Yeah, that is kind of true. Like this game has a lot of weight on its shoulders right now to get people into the VR 2 experience on the PlayStation. So even minus the hardware, it costs $60. Like that's kind of crazy. These VR games cost, well, not premium price, but they cost $60. So that is a lot. That was a decent amount right there. Okay. If I were to add the cost of VR headsets, should we add the cost of an Xbox or PC as well? I mean, I don't care, but this popped on my timeline. I figured it should be mentioned. That is a huge stretch because most likely somebody probably already has the Xbox or a PlayStation right now. But to play this other game, you need a whole VR headset. So it's not the same thing. They're definitely reaching a butthurt that people mention that. Like, of course, if you're talking about Horizon, the VR game, you should mention you need the headset. Like, I don't think that's outlandish to say that you got to buy the headset with it. But, you know, they are just reaching right now. And how you know it's the flagship PSVR 2 game when GT7 and Resident Evil 8 haven't reached PS? Nobody's talking. Okay, you can tell which one is the flagship game because I don't see anybody talking about GT7 or Resident Evil 8. Nobody's even. I haven't heard even heard a peep about those games. Only game I've heard of PSVR 2 is the Horizon game. That's it. So that is obvious. That's the flagship game. It's just funny that you're trying to say that. That is not really the flagship game, but these other games are the flagship games. So like, give me a break. Stop with the BS. We know which game was the flagship game for PSVR 2. Price should have an effect on experience, definitely, but this is not a $610 versus $0 comparison. Okay. The Game Pass effect. Love to play anything as long as it's free, but refuse at all costs to pay for something good. That is not the case. Once again, you're trying to say that Xbox gamers don't buy games. They only play games on Game Pass, but that's not true. Referencing the whole Hogwarts Legacy sales. It's one of the best selling games on Xbox right now. And once again, you have to buy that game. So this narrative is proven false. So you wouldn't play Atomic Heart if it cost $60? Probably not. Me myself personally, I probably wouldn't buy Atomic Heart for $60. Like, and that is the goodness of Game Pass. Like, if it's a game that you're iffy on, you could just play it on Game Pass. So you even gotta wonder about that price point. So, and once again, they try to make that a negative, but that is honestly that can never be a negative. Like, it's a game you iffy on. If it's on Game Pass, just play it on Game Pass. Ponies are coping hard. They definitely are. VR isn't for everyone. Only people who like VR will go out to buy one. On the other hand, Atomic Heart Score 75 is available everywhere. Clearly a Game Pass game. Game Pass is the last resource in an argument they're losing. Even Game Pass didn't help the Metascore. Why would it help the Metascore? Like, what type of a comment is that? Like, if the game is trash, it's trash. The game is good, it's good. Like, why would Game Pass have a factor in that? Look how butthurt they are with this dude's post. Like, obviously, Game Pass isn't free unless you like get the Microsoft reward points, which you can make it free with that. But most of the time, Game Pass isn't free, but it's a low cost. So they playing semantics when they know what this guy's talking about. Like, we get what this guy's talking about. Like, we don't need the semantics here, but they are so butthurt. There, when you gotta go just based on semantics. You gotta be super nitpicky about semantics. So you know you lost the argument. Like, we know that you're butthurt at this point. Like, jeez. But yeah, this guy's comment is just ridiculous. It's a big difference between the Call of the Mountain game, because you got to make a huge investment to play that game. Well, Atomic Heart, that game is on pretty much every platform. Even Game Pass, you can pay $10 or $15 a month to access it. So it's a big difference, and why the opinions on these games, Metacritic scores, would be different. So yeah, I guess this guy's just reaching. Acts very obtuse as he doesn't see the difference. Why there's two different reactions to these games, pretty much having the same Metacritic score. So yeah, those are just my thoughts about this. Definitely want to see yours down below. Leave a like if you like this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.